So I woke up the other morning, wondering what to do with myself. I hadn't worked on the Kirk for a couple of weeks because I'd stuffed my back up and I needed to take a break from it. So I was looking at Facebook, looking at, all the things that a bloke could buy that probably a bloke shouldn't buy or that a bloke didn't need. And I saw a car that I liked and I thought, well, I'm not doing much. I may as well jump in the car and drive a long distance and have a look at it and not bother taking a car trailer in case I might want to buy it, because I'll probably be able to get a one-way hire to bring it back if I did want to buy it. So yeah, applying all that logic to the situation, I took off. And that's what this story is about. This is the road trip to go and have a look at a 1957 Chev two-door coupe, pillarless. So I hope you enjoy. So where I'm heading to, as you can see on the map here, is a little town called Jerilderie, which is in the southern Riverina region of New South Wales. It's a population of about 1,000 people and it's approximately 670 odd kilometres southwest of Sydney. This is living the dream, getting out on the open road, going to look at an old car and just getting away from all that stuff we've all been through with these lockdowns. This is great, I'm really enjoying it. Love the scenery, love the country, it's all good. Alright, so I've just arrived outside the place where the car is, and I'm not sure if the gentleman's going to be okay with me filming, so I'm just going to give him a call and see what's up, and we'll let you know how we go.
18 months now, I guess.
What, did he pull out, or you just haven't heard from him?
No, I've contacted him numerous times, him, the guy that arranged it, and
Yeah.
he just, apparently it's something he's done with a few people
And he just didn't contact you back?
No.
How nuts.
So I don't know what his go is.
Well, mate, you've done the right thing. I mean, he's lost his deposit, basically. So what can you tell me about the history of the car?
The guy, look, I bought a bunch of them off the family because I helped them out previously.
Yep.
And they basically they said, well, I'm interested in the vehicles, and I hadn't even seen them. And anyway, so they gave me a price, and I'll have a look at it. And basically, I could take all or nothing, so I ended up with a few cars, a caravan, motors, and just stuff.
Okay.
And so the car was, he bought the car, I believe it was very late 70s.
Yeah.
It was built in the early 80s, and I only know that because in amongst what I bought was I bought a 427.
Yeah.
Came with it.
Yeah.
And well, it came with it, but it was part of the overall package. And the work invoice that was on the motor was dated 1984, and it was actually built by Motorline in Melbourne that owned Chev Off-Road Racing. And so I rang Sam up and I said, do you remember this motor? And he said, no. But I told him what the job card said. He said, oh, it's a 427.
Yeah.
It's just one of those, it's never been started.
Oh, okay.
They're rebuilding now, it's just because it's been sitting for so long.
So in this scene I actually forgot to hit the record button, but basically Gary took me into the other shed, and since we were talking about price on the 57, Gary thought I might be interested in this engine. And it's a 427 Chev big block, and originally it was built in the 80s, and it's basically been mothballed. So Gary was sort of saying that you know, he was willing to throw it in as part of the deal with the 57. I'm going to have to strip it down, you know, clean everything out, change the gasket seals and whatnot, but yeah, pretty much it's a brand new engine inside that's never been started, so pretty happy with that. And at that point I think that I was pretty much sold. So and then basically Gary just showed me around his workshop, showed me some of the other things he was working on. He sort of specializes in chassis, and this one here is actually a 56 Ford pickup chassis that he's modified. It's got a 351 Windsor in it and coilovers on the front. But it's the next thing which really astounded me, and that was a Ford 427 side oiler. I mean, that's just not something you happen to trip over in everyone's back shed. I mean, this is the sort of engine that they had in the NASCARs, they had in the Le Mans GT40s. It's like 12.5 to 1 compression ratio. They made upwards of about, well, they say 475, but it was probably higher horsepower. And they were just an awesome engine. And Gary offered it to me, but it's just something that I wasn't prepared for, and it was out of my budget. So, but it was just great to see it. And then there was a couple of Jag front ends, and in the background there you can see the Ford cab over. I mean, this guy's just got a lot of very, very cool vehicles. And you'll see that I actually had a bit of a look around in his other shed here, and he's got some great 56 pickups. This is actually a Firebird, Pontiac Firebird 68 model. Gary didn't want to sell that one. I did ask him, but yeah, great collection. So with this 57, the story was the bloke that originally owned it was building it back in the 80s, and he sort of got to this stage, and it was actually illness that actually prevented him from finishing it. And yeah, it's a strange colour combo, but he basically yeah, did a fair amount of work to it. It's all painted underneath in nice chocolate brown, and yeah. Anyway, these are Gary's 56 pickups. Just a really cool collection. They're all in various stages of restoration or condition, and some of them Gary has done himself, and some I believe he bought that way. And yeah, he's got a few Broncos and some F100s and F150s and whatnot there. And apparently this is just part of the collection. He's got a bunch more at his other place. Okay, so where I'm at is, I think I want to get this car, and it's getting late here at the moment, so my brother lives about an hour from here, so I'm going to head over there, spend the night with him, and then tomorrow I'm going to see if have a look around at Wagga Wagga or Albury and see if I can get a one-way trailer hire to take this thing back to Sydney. So that's what I'm thinking at the moment. So yeah, we'll pick it up in the morning. What you got, Laurie?
That's actually a 1951 Triumph Thunderbird.
So,
believe it or not.
So all 1951 parts.
Yeah.
And you bought this, that's the tank there. So you bought this as a complete bike just recently, right?
Yeah, I shot up to Broken Hill overnight and picked it up.
Broken Hill?
Yeah.
Okay.
And been in the container for 30 odd years or something.
Yeah.
And the frame's away at the moment, getting some repairs done.
Yeah.
But otherwise it was pretty complete.
Yeah.
Like, be a nice project to do.
So you're going to restore this to like concours, so
Yeah.
just as it came off the factory production, it'll probably be a bit better.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's not a bike you would chop up or
Mm.
bottle or anything like that.
Yeah.
They're just too cool a bike to not restore them back to what they were.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is your chopper, which is like this is really old school. This thing.
This is old school, yeah.
Look at these crazy handlebars. Like they're probably spaced about 6 inches apart.
And they're not the most narrow ones you can
No,
get.
I've seen them narrower than that.
Yeah.
And what do you call this type of front end?
This is a girder front end.
Girder.
Yeah, with a 1970 Honda 175 front wheel.
Yeah.
Because they come out with a 21-inch wheel, which is the chopper wheel,
Yep.
size wheel, and they got these beautiful little cast hubs with a decent brake in them.
Yeah.
As they used to run front brakes.
Yeah. What do you call that tank? A coffin?
No, that's a prism,
A prism?
which our nephew Connor built for me.
Oh, Connor built that, did he?
He did, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Never built a petrol tank before in his life.
I mean, it's pretty handy, that bloke.
He is.
And what sort of engine's this going to have?
This is a 57 T110 engine, Tiger 10.
Tiger 10, what's that stand for?
Tiger 110,
Is that like a 500 or 600 or
650, and it could do 110 mile an hour, so it's
650 and it'll do 110 mile an hour?
yeah. 1957, mate.
1957, that's pretty good.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was the sports version.
Yeah.
That's the engine here for it. All boxed up.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, well, we won't go poking around too much, but yeah, it's all just some nice shiny bits in there, and all new heads been redone and everything. And this is, over here we've got all the parts for the Thunderbird.
that's it.
What'd you say, 1951, the Thunderbird?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, very cool. So, nice little man cave you've got going on here.
It's a pretty good place to be.
Yeah. Very cool backyard shed. And I was looking at the pictures over here before on the wall,
Mm.
and one of these bikes was one that you built back in the 70s, was it?
That one there, yeah.
That one there, I don't know, it's probably not very good lighting, but
That gearbox out of the way.
yeah. It's a very cool looking bike.
That was a Santee, American Santee frame.
American Santee frame?
Santee, yeah.
Santee. What was the engine?
That was a 69 '69 Trophy 650.
650 Trophy. And was it Honda front
It
forks?
was a Honda front forks.
Yeah.
This bike, I started building this in a house at Bondi Junction,
Oh yeah.
up in the attic room, and
Up in the attic.
yes,
That's a good choice. Yeah.
it was just
I'm going
down
to
the
build
road.
I'm going to build a bike. Let's go up in the attic.
I was just up the road from the Cock and Bull Hotel in Bronte,
Uh huh.
and I bought the frame for $250 from a guy who was importing them out at Homebush,
Yeah.
and then I bought things like the front end, the back wheel, the seat, the mudguard. I bought a whole lot of the other stuff off guys who are building choppers.
Mm.
'Cause when you start building something, you get to meet people,
Yeah.
and all these guys are building these choppers, and I end up buying all their parts
Oh okay.
because they didn't
You got all the leftovers.
get to build them.
Oh, I didn't get to
They're
finish
all,
them. Yeah.
they're all gunners, you know.
Yeah, right. And I noticed it's got like twin disc brake
Yes.
front.
That's why I didn't mind the Honda front end, because I really do like a good front brake on a bike.
Yeah, for sure.
But that was a beautiful handling bike.
Yeah.
And
you
I got pulled up everywhere,
got-
all over the country.
yeah.
Coppers would pull me up just to have a look at it. Never got a ticket.
Never got a ticket.
Never.
Yeah, try doing that these days.
Yeah.
And you got the old Easy Rider poster here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the bike there, huh?
That's the Thunderbird.
Yeah.
I don't know how clear these are coming out on camera, but we'll grab them anyway.
Yeah, I was sitting there working away on it one day, and I looked around and I thought, crap, there it is there.
There it is there, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like we're going to run low on battery, so, but anyway, that's the main thing. I just wanted to catch the bikes, especially this chopper here. I think that'd just be great seeing that going down the road.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to getting it on the road.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I mean, it's a total opposite to, you know, what most people refer to as choppers these days, you know? Like, yeah, you know.
Well, that front end, I had that made by Spitfire girders in California,
Yeah,
and I then got it sent to Factory Metalworks in North Carolina, and they built the frame to suit that front end.
mm-hmm.
So it's just got,
So it's got a bit of rake on it, eh? It's not too much, but it's got a bit.
and I've kept the front, so I wanted it built so the frame wasn't level.
Okay,
I like a bit of kicking up a bit
okay.
in the front,
Mm.
rather than having it level. Some people like that.
Mm. All right, no, very good. Okay. Very cool. All right, it's the next morning, and pretty much exhausted my options as far as hiring a trailer goes. I called Move Yourself, and I called U-Haul, and even called Kennard's Hire, and it seems like nobody wants to do a one-way hire, which I sort of hadn't really counted on. So I'm now sort of in a bit of a bind. It looks like the only option is to go and buy a trailer. So I'm just going to head into Wagga Wagga, and hopefully there'll be a place in there that'd be willing to sell me a 16-foot trailer. I did try calling, but no one's answering. It's a little bit early, so just going to enjoy the drive into Wagga, and hopefully we'll get it sorted. Well, believe it or not, I couldn't even find a trailer to buy in Wagga Wagga. I need the 16-foot and 6.5 feet wide deck, so I did get a lead. There's one which seems to fit the description in Griffith, so I'm heading off there now. I'm basically somewhere between Griffith and Geraldry. I'm really not sure how to say that name. Forgive me, everyone that lives in Geraldry. Anyway, so I've pretty much been around the world. After going to my brother's place last night, having a bit of a kip there, I headed off to Wagga, that was the closest main centre, to pick up a trailer, because none of this was planned. So I get to Wagga, because I couldn't get anyone to answer the phone, and found out they didn't have trailers. So I was back in the car again and headed off to Griffith, and in Griffith we managed to pick up a pretty decent car trailer, and now I'm sort of halfway between Griffith and Geraldry, and yeah, so hopefully all goes according to plan. We'll meet up with Gary again, and yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll get this 57 loaded up and start heading back to Sydney. So looking forward to it. We've got it strapped on, and me being me, of course, I forgot to put the camera on when we were busy trying to get it on the back of the trailer. The guys I bought the trailer off were kind enough to give it to me without a winch. So yeah, so we just had a lot of fun just pushing her on, and yeah, she's there now anyway. That's the main thing. God, look at this thing. It's like a big, bright, ripe mandarin.
The route is being calculated.
Okay, no worries, thank you. Alright, I'm going to hit the road, and hopefully we'll have a decent trip back. Just pulled over to check the straps and make sure everything's alright. Seems all pretty secure and everything, but might have another problem. I think this old girl's getting a little bit hot. Might have a hole or a break in one of the cooling lines. I know these things have got a weird cooling system. I think it's there might even be some cooling lines coming from the turbos and go up the back of the engine or something. I'm not entirely sure, but there's definitely something going on with it, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on the temperature. I got heaps of extra coolant with me that I picked up at the servo, but yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on it. So we are actually, I believe, on the Sturt Highway heading to...
The route is being calculated. Please follow the road for 82 kilometres.
So we are, I believe, on the Sturt Highway heading towards Wagga Wagga, and just previous to that we were on the Newell Highway heading towards Narrandera. Guys, you've got to forgive me if I get these names wrong. I mean, like, I'm a Kiwi, so, you know, let me off. Alright, I'm going to keep going. Got to keep an eye on this temperature of this thing, so yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, everything will be alright. Alright, so it's good to be home again, and we've got this old girl in the workshop. We're going to wait till the other guys come back from work to give us a hand to unload it. But yeah, she held up well, didn't move a bit on the trailer. The trailer was actually really good to tow, so I'm pretty pleased with that purchase. The old SUV's a bit worse for wear though. She's got a couple of cracked cooling pipes, and hopefully the garage is going to be able to fix it all right. Well, garage, it was actually the dealership I took it to, so we'll have to wait and see about that. But in the meantime, I'm just happy to have this old girl here. And yeah, I'm not sad I bought it at all. I mean, yeah, the colour is pretty out there. It's very 70s, and I'm not going to leave it this colour. But you know, the bodywork seems pretty sound, and you know, just even the way the door opens and closes, you know, it's quite good. I can improve on the body gaps for sure, but the panels don't line up too badly. And just love the front end. Well, I love the front and the back end, to be honest. Missing a bit of chrome, but I've actually got that. I've pretty much got all the parts from what I can see. And now we're just waiting for the engine to arrive. That's coming on a truck separately. And that's a 427 big block. So, and this is the first Chev I've ever owned. So, what can I say? I'm pretty pleased with that. Yeah, so anyway, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video and the road trip, and yeah, please, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe and the like button and share and all that good stuff, and we'll catch you in the next one.